Hello, my name is Charles, and in today's video, we are going to talk about anxiety and why anxiety doesn't do anything and why it's totally useless, yet totally understandable. So, a lot of people in today's generation, right? SSRI usage is increasing, and everyone's like, I'm depressed, life sucks. And part of that is due to capitalism and the way it's, enforcing garbage, and also disparities and abundance and all this kind of jazz. But on a personal level, on a experiential level, okay, anxiety is just 99.9% totally useless, but it's super understandable. So it's super valid, right? Everyone is free to feel and think however they so choose. But I want to assure you, the more you cement in your mind firmly, and the more you realize, and I don't mean cement in your mind as like you constantly, have this belief system in your head telling you all the time. I mean, anxiety is useless when you're feeling anxiety. I mean more that you realize it, you see the times over and over, in your life that you worried about something, and whether or not you worried about it, or whether or not you're, fearing it one way or the other, or worrying one way or the other, it didn't change or do anything. So let's take right the classic child example, right? A child may, wonder or imagine, like, what if an asteroid, blows up the planet? And adults at that time will say, like, oh, who knows? Or like, right, and just tell the kid, but it's like that concern, right? If you are anxious, what if the world blows up? There is simply, right, it either will or it won't, and whether or not you worry about it is going to have almost no impact on the situation. And for 99.9% of people, they're not going to actually do anything that would prevent that or, aid in it. So it just doesn't matter. It's not like you worrying about it is going to change anything, right? I mean, you can imagine it and you can consider it as a possibility and just let it, play in your mind what would happen. Would the world continue on? If there's no consciousness to perceive the world, is the world going to be the exact same as it was? Like, right? I mean, you can play with the idea all you want, but in reality, it simply doesn't do anything. It has no, right? Whether or not you worry about something has no effect on the outcome. And so, in that same way, let's think again, right? Let's think again on an interview. Let's say you have an interview tomorrow and you're like, you're going to bed at night and you got an interview tomorrow and you're worrying a little bit you're getting anxious and you're tossing it. What are they going to say? You worrying in that moment on whether or not you're going to do well in that interview is not going to help you. It'll make your sleep worse. It'll make the situation where it simply will not change the outcome. Will probably make it worse for what's going to happen in that interview. There could be an infinite number of reasons they say yes to you, or an infinite number of reasons they say no. And you worrying the night before an interview is not going to help you. Now, I hear you saying, Charles, but what about, thinking about the future and considering, what could happen if this or what could happen if that? And that is totally understandable. That's a valid concern, right? What can happen in the future? Am I going to be prepared? Am I going to prepare, financially, emotionally, spiritually for the future, and ensure that I'm feeling good? Of course. But you can have situations in your life about the future or about plans that you want to make, or goals and ambitions and all those sorts of things. And you can have all of that, but you can do it without the worry. Treat emotions like worry and anxiety about the future, treat them with a degree of presence, or from the spirit, right, where you're looking back and they just arise as like salient signals. You are not, right, the worry is just popping up in your head. You didn't ask for it to be there. It just pops up and it'll go away, right? And fundamentally, you don't have to do anything about the worry. The worry will just come in and come out. And if it's really stuck in your brain, what you can do is you can have that worry or anxiety pop up, and then you can recognize, okay, well, I either can do something about it or I can't, right? That's in therapy nowadays, or in psychology, they have a thing called acceptance and commitment therapy. So, in that, right, you can either accept the situation as it is, just whatever is going on, that's what's going on. Or you can, what's it called? You can do something about it, right? You can change the outcome of the situation. And then this is where the wisdom and discernment come with, like understanding the rhythms of life, where you can be like, okay, like, maybe this is a valid thing to have concern and forethought and prudence about. But, at 2 a.m., that's not the time to, think about where you're going to be in 5 years, because you need to get some sleep for the day ahead. And so in that same way, right, there's so many situations in life where, and it's so understandable, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Things can change at any moment, all this stuff. So we worry. But in reality, so many of our worries, if we can cultivate a decent sense of discernment, we could be like, well, this would be, a valid time to address the concern. I can address the concern in this way, and I can take practical action to solve it, so it's not actually a worry. And then, in addition, you can accept whatever is going on as just a state of affairs, right? That there's nothing you need to do to the worry or to the contents of your mind or the outside situation. You accept it as it is, as a solution as well. And then even furthermore, right, as a solution to anxiety, you can have the idea, right, that now I'm a Christian, so but if you're not, you can just say the universe or life, that all that you need, as long as you are in touch with spirit, or let's say life, will be provided unto you, right? And you just have to steward those things. So what that means is, like, right, there will be chances where there's opportunities to make money, or you get money, or there are opportunities to get sleep, or you get your body and your mind, right? As long as you steward every gift that comes your way well, right? You get some money and you invest it in the right way. Your job is not always, right? It's not always a matter of, I need to worry, and then do all these things. It's like, for whatever is coming in your life, or whatever is present, how are you optimally working with it, being grateful for it, maximizing it, right? How are you treating it? And then I think another thing when it comes to worry is also understanding, right? Another solution to anxiety and worry is kind of understanding, like, what's it called? Like, it's kind of the recognition, like, almost the way to get out of a cycle of worry is to almost not worry about your worry. Okay? Because some people, right, they'll go in the self-help community, or they'll go in the mental health community on YouTube or in therapy or in life or whatever, and they'll be like, I've heard anxiety so bad for me. Oh my God. It's like, whatever you're feeling, whatever you are thinking and experiencing and is going on in your mind, whatever the contents of your consciousness and your mind and spirit are, if you can have the mindset that there's nothing I need to do about them, like there's nothing, if anxiety pops up, right, you just feel it for what it is, and then it kind of goes away, right? Because essentially, right, anxiety has a very short half-life. Like, I talked to a friend about this. The half-life of negative emotions are very short, much shorter than you think. If you don't self-perpetuate the story of your anxiety, like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen and the world's going to end and da-da-da-da-da, right? If you don't, or I got to do all these things, or if you don't perpetuate, whatever that mental ideation is that's causing the anxiety or worry, a lot of the times it dissipates really quickly. Like, unless it's physiological, anxiety, like you're starving and you need food or something, like essentially most anxiety is, will go away within a very short time frame. You'll feel it, it'll pop up, and then you'll just go back to calm, right? It'll poof into your mind and poof out. Just like the Rumi quote, our mind or soul is like our soul is like it's like a guest house for the visitors of the mind. So the thoughts of joy and happiness or envy or jealousy or even, sadness and worry, right? They come in, and then if you just let them in, let them stay for however long they want to stay and then let them out, they come and go very, very quickly. There's no, don't fear your feelings, in essence, because there's nothing your feelings are really, they're not going to, you don't have to be afraid of them. They're just going to come and they're going to go. So I think those are some solid solutions. And then what you'll notice is, wow, when I am calm, when I am relaxed, when I can just feel whatever negative feeling and it doesn't prevent me from doing what I'm going to do anyways, right? You want to ask a girl out. One solution to that is and you say oh, but I'm too nervous. It's like, well, that's just a feeling stopping you. Just if you do it anyways, even if you are nervous, what you'll notice is, even if you have a feeling about something, you can just do it it doesn't prevent you, it doesn't stop you, so you can, and that's how you more and more get beyond, oh, wow. And then you notice wow, when I'm calm, when I'm composed, when I'm relaxed, I handle life better. I do so much better. I don't, I'm able to solve problems and, fix those concerns much better than when I was, anxious and worrying about them. Those same problems either go away because they weren't real problems, or you're able to more aptly just, keep calm, carry on, and solve them. So I hope this helps. I hope everyone is wow, these are some good methods to or even perspectives to solve my, or aid in the quest to solving my anxiety. And so, yeah, I just wish you guys the best along your journey. I know you can do it. Have faith in you. God bless. Have a wonderful day.